Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to Coffee and Headlines. Here we are connecting once again, creating connections between ourselves and our city, our state, our country, and sharing information about what to do here in Puerto Vallarta and what to know about Mexico. It is a pleasure to be here. Today is Thursday, May 9th. Tomorrow is Mother's Day. I hope you have your presents all prepared or whatever it is that you have put together to celebrate your moms or your, the mothers in your life. It is good to do that. Of course, my mom is watching from some other place, but she's always in my memories, and particularly tomorrow. Let's see. Oh my goodness, I see good. Brian, you're in Los Angeles. My friends Brian and Chris, they are taking a cruise. Too much information, maybe? People shouldn't know about this? Well, too late. I already said it. But they're taking a Panama Canal cruise, and I was watching a television series last night that involves a very unfortunate Panama crossing. So, never mind. Let's just let's go into the news because we have plenty of things to share today. Where is my news button? Here we go. Let me put out my notes, which seem to have disappeared. And where are my notes? Here they are. Give me 1 second. And I want to let you know that this is not good news for everyone. It's good news for the city, but not so much for the employees. 350 employees are being dismissed from the city's administration. Lucio Mesa was named City Hall Administrator a month and a half ago, and one of his primary goals or missions was to review the city budget destined for job salaries. And he has announced this, that in order to make the payroll match the allocated salary, 350 or actually more than 350 employees have to be dismissed from City Hall. This is good news because they're straightening out their finances. But I would not want to be one of those people. And this is another one that has to do with budget or lack of thereof. Remember months ago when Mayor Luis Michel made a big deal about the transformation of the La Aurora Apartments? At the time, he announced that all 69 buildings would be repainted and even offered owners and tenants the option to choose a color for their building. We remarked about the colors at the time. And I know that it's been over a year since we talked about this, but the reality today is that only the front buildings, and I mean the buildings that are more visible to people and politicians going by, only the front buildings were painted, and the majority of them still look like the one on this image. And one is supposed to trust the former mayor's wife to run our city? I don't think so. And speak of the devil, here she is next to presidential candidate Claudia Sheinbaum, who has announced a visit to Puerto Vallarta next week on the 15th, to be precise. Now, if you ask me, I will definitely vote for Claudia Sheinbaum for next president of Mexico, not because of the party that she represents. I'm not entirely against or in favor of the Morena party, but because she has proven experience in governing, which is something that Chuyita Lopez, candidate for Morena for mayor in Puerto Vallarta, certainly does not have. And this is good news for those of us that are hoping or maybe thinking of getting married, that are looking for same-sex spouses. 2 years ago, on April 6, 2022 to be exact, the state of Jalisco's Congress approved same-sex marriages. Then came the Mexican Human Rights Commission arguing that the decision was illegal, and they took the case to Mexico's National Supreme Court because, according to the Mexican Human Rights Commission, the vote to approve the law was anonymous, and this violates Mexico's right to transparency. So, 2 years later, the Supreme Court has ruled in favor of the law, saying that while it was an unusual vote, the bottom line is that the vote came in favor of same-sex marriage in Jalisco. So, let's find me a husband and tómala. And the last one that I have before we turn over to the weather, I frequently mention Vox here at Coffee and Headlines because, in my opinion, the media company is an excellent source of well-researched and well-balanced reporting. And they have just published this report on the water crisis affecting Mexico City. The report is in English, and I'll be reading this later on today. And I thought you might want to read it as well. So obviously, we will include it in the show notes. And now this.
What's the deal with classical music? It turns out it's not all serious business. Delve into the chuckle-worthy compositions deliberately crafted to tickle your funny bone. Meet performers who thrive on adding a dash of humor to the classical scene. And let's not forget those unexpected hiccups during performances that turn into comedy gold. Join me for What's So Funny, where we will explore the lighter side of classical music because, well, why not? Grab your tickets for a laughter-filled evening this Thursday at the Joint Boutique Hotel and Co-work. It's a steal at 300 pesos per person. Hurry, seats are as limited as a virtuoso's range.
And that is today, and I am so excited. But now let's talk about the weather. What? Snarky Weatherman says Peter Jackson should just call his new Lord of the Rings movies There and Back Again, and then back a few more times. I didn't even know that he was making new Lord of the Rings movies, so I will research that. It is 27 degrees right now. Humidity is only 58%, and that's a good thing. And our weather forecast for today says, hold on just a second. Today we are going to enter a humid day with clear skies, a high of 29 and a low of 20. Tomorrow, Friday, mostly clear skies in the morning with mostly cloudy skies in the afternoon, a high of 29 and a low of 20. And then on Saturday, a humid day with mostly clear skies throughout the day, a high of 29 and a low of 20. Now, moving right along with these other headlines that I put together for you. We already read that one, but this one, it's mango season. Well, Banderas News tells us that mango season is coming. Although my most recent visit to Walmart this past Monday, based on it, I'd say that mango season is already here because of all the mangoes that I saw at the supermarket. Of course, Banderas News is referring to the abundant mango trees that are in our city. And once they begin dropping mangoes onto the grass or the pavement, you will know that mango season is here because you will smell the difference. That's for sure. And of course, I want to report on yesterday's wonderful spotlight. We had Carmen Porras join us to tell us about her upcoming 3rd anniversary special dinner, which is happening soon. We've mentioned this here at Coffee and Headlines, and I'm sure she would love it if you attended. And then we spoke with Jordan Carnegie, who is currently starring in a very short run of Hedwig and the Angry Inch at the Palm. It was a pleasure to converse with him because he had all kinds of interesting and insightful information about why this musical matters and why the subject matter is truly universal. So we accomplished our mission. We accomplished our mission of connecting with producers and creators of events, and they compelled us to attend their events. I will share with you the link where you can purchase tickets for Jordan's show at the Palm. And of course, the spotlight comes back a week from yesterday. Episode 9 will be on May 15 at 4 p.m. in case you happen to know of anyone that is wanting to step onto the spotlight and promote their upcoming events. And now let's see what you bring to the table. Let me get my comments up front and let me clear my throat really quickly. Oh, that felt good. Okay, so comments. Let's see what we have. Boom, 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 boom. Lots of good mornings and one good afternoon from David. Always saying hello from the East Coast. It's good to see you, my friend. And I know that your trip back is approaching. Let's see what else we have. Dun, 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 dun. Albert, you know, I have to say this. I don't know how close you are to LA. Anyone that is close to Los Angeles should know that in a few months, I saw this advertised. Dudamel, the conductor, is doing a concert with at the Hollywood Bowl with orchestra with Mexico's Natalia Lafourcade. They have done this before, and to see those two at the Hollywood Bowl with the LA Philharmonic is going to be such a treat. It's not even funny. That's all I'm going to say about that. Unless you want to find out more about the concert, in which case I will be happy to tell you what I read. I can look it up and bring it back. Betsy. How nice that we're going to get together this afternoon. Betsy is such a great supporter of, you are such a great supporter of my presentations, and I love it when you're there. You always inspire me. And today we're going to have a few laughs together. Let's see. Bunga bunga bungum bum bum bum. We walked by those buildings a while ago and noticed that it looked finished. Tricksters only did those facing street side. Yes, Ryan, that seems to be the case. It's not complete. It's not complete. I know that because of the day in which I had to go to get my INAPAM card, my senior citizens card. It's the office is located right around there, and some of the buildings were not looking pretty. And JC says 350 plus is a lot of angry workers. This is true. I'm sure there's going to be some unhappy people. I've read some people grumbling that the people that are getting dismissed are the ones that did not support the Morena party. But of course, we have no way to prove that. David says, came to Dallas from Puerto Vallarta, and my husband ended up in the hospital. Sorry to hear that. Hopefully we'll be back in a few weeks. Watching you and Luna daily. Thank you very much, David. Sending good vibes to you and to your husband. I hope it was nothing serious. Sherry says, I love mangoes. You know, one should never take the availability of mangoes for granted in our city, because I remember living in Boston. Mangoes were expensive and they were really a luxury item. So if there are any local restaurants preparing mango festivals, and the River Cafe usually does that, go check it out, because the mango is such an amazing fruit, and it's just yummy. Oh, and shameless plug, Siam PV, our beloved Michael Beaufort, has an amazing mango dessert. Oh my God, now I'm craving. Maybe today, right after my presentation, maybe, just maybe. Let's see what else we got. Karen says, I watched the Spotlight last night. Wonderful session. Right. You know, I am so grateful, Karen, and I'm grateful to all of you that are spreading the word. More and more people are reaching out to try to find out what is it about, how can I get in, and so forth and so on. We've mentioned this a number of times. We have a beautiful explainer video on the Spotlight, but it is great that increasingly I don't have to hustle so much and find people to join me as interviewees. Now people are starting to reach out to us, and this makes me very happy, and you have a lot to do with that, and I'm very grateful. Whoa, hold on just a second. Albert says I live in Los Angeles, and I'll have to look that up. You know, just be there for me. Just go to the concert. I'm sure it's going to be very expensive, but it's going to be absolutely wonderful. Parim pam pum pam pam. Logan chimes in. Loved hearing more about this production of Hedwig at the Palm. Looking forward to attending a week from today and tying it in with a dinner at Bravo's to check out their restaurant week menu. You know, one of the things that Jordan said yesterday about this production of Hedwig that really got my attention is, number one, he's working with a band, so there's no tracks here. This is live musicians. And secondly, he wanted to make sure that the whole company, the whole cast, the band members, so forth and so on, was all Mexican nationals. He really wanted to involve the local community in the production, and to me that just adds extra points. Let's see. See, there goes my geography. Logan says you're literally right down the road from the Hollywood Bowl, Albert. Well, the 501, and Albert says, yup. So there you have it. There's going to be this wonderful concert with Dudamel and Natalia Lafourcade. Well, if I could be in Los Angeles, I would go to that. And this, my goodness, brings us to the end of today's presentation. I think I don't have anything else. I did mention in the spotlight last night, and I should have this information available to you more clearly starting tomorrow, that I already have my schedule figured out for music appreciation presentations for the entire summer, and I will be publishing what we're going to be doing. And for those of you that are wondering, well, what about that fluffed up live music appreciation presentation that you were supposed to redo? I'm still working on it, and you will have it very, very soon. And this, my friends, brings us to the end of today's presentation, today's broadcast. Of course, I hope I'm going to run into some of you this afternoon at the joint for What's So Funny, our look at really funny instances of classical music. And if not then, I hope to see you again sometime in the future, and maybe even tomorrow morning. Have a good one.